The number one mistake that I see people make when they're choosing their bike frame is failing to choose a frame style that suits the type of riding that they intend to do. So if you're looking for a bike for commuting, obviously your criteria will be very different than if you were looking for a bike for racing. And similarly, if you're looking to ride on-road versus off-road, there are distinct characteristics that different frame styles provide that will allow you to be comfortable and efficient and safe in those different styles of riding. So even before you consider aspects such as size or geometry, the key consideration is choosing a style of frame that suits the style of riding you intend to do. The second mistake that you definitely want to avoid when you're choosing your bike frame is choosing a size that's not suitable for your body proportions. So there are limitations to the adjustability of aspects like seat height and bar position. And if you choose a frame that's either too small or too large, then you may not be able to achieve a riding position that is comfortable or efficient for you. So ideally, it's helpful if you can take a bike for a test ride before purchasing to confirm that the size is suitable and comfortable for you. And also, if you're purchasing online, to look carefully at the sizing recommendations to gauge whether it's likely to be a suitable fit for you. Another potential issue when you're choosing your bike frame is choosing a frame with a geometry that doesn't suit the handling characteristics that you prefer in a bike. So if you're just purely looking at the numbers on a geometry chart, it can be quite confusing for a lot of people. But the outcome that we want from the frame geometry you choose is a bike that feels stable and safe for you for the style of riding that you do. And there's definitely an aspect of personal preference there. So a bike that one rider might like because it feels nimble for them and very responsive to steering inputs, for instance, there may be another rider on that same bike who feels like that bike is unstable and doesn't provide them with the confidence that they prefer. So once again, test rides are a wonderful way to confirm whether a bike's handling characteristics are your preference, but a very important consideration. Another important influence of the frame geometry, beyond the handling characteristics, is how well that frame geometry matches your physical capacity. So bike frames differ in the length and also the height relationships. And if you're a rider who has higher flexibility or relatively long arms, then you may well prefer and even need a frame with a longer reach or a lower position of the front end. In comparison, if you know that your flexibility is not your strong suit, or perhaps you've had lower back or neck injuries, then that may be one reason why you choose a geometry with a shorter reach or a higher front end of the frame. So they're always important extra considerations. The fifth mistake that you definitely want to avoid when you're choosing your bike frame is failing to recognise that bike frames have a rider weight limit. So it's not normally an issue for your average rider, but if you're looking at a high-end carbon fibre frame, some of the weight limits are surprisingly low. I know the lowest I recall seeing was around 65 kilograms. So there's not going to be many riders outside the professional peloton that's going to be suitable for. So an important one to consider if you're looking at a really high performance frame. So I hope you've gained some insight from these 5 tips. If you're after more information about how to choose your ideal frame, I have a series of ebooks which you can get from the link in the description below. And also please subscribe to the channel to be notified of any new postings. Thanks for watching.